And welcome back, everybody. It is Thursday night instead of Friday night, so something a little bit different now for us. Schedules change, and so we're gonna try a Thursday night thing going on here. So I think I fixed the microphone issue from last week. If you're still getting an echo, please let me know. So. There's Scott. How you doing, bud? Yay, I got the notification. Yay! And Jeff made it. G'day, finally made it. Hey, Jeff, how you doing? We're gonna try a different night, a little bit different time, right? Kind of moving into prime time instead of late night talk show host, right? But it's much more quiet and peaceful here tonight. So I don't have a little 4-year-old running around, and it almost feels too quiet, right? He'll be here tomorrow night, so things will liven up a bit then. So Sammy made it. Hey Sly, hey Sammy, how you doing, bud? It's a little bit earlier for you. Figured I'd try the 9 o'clock time slot, which is a little early for me, right? Jeff says the sound is perfect. Awesome. Thank you. So I think I had one of the cameras where the mic was on. And so we were getting a little bit of echo from that maybe. But I've checked both of these. They are now off. So we should not be getting an echo. I can't really check the one in the ceiling without taking the whole thing down, which I can do, but I have to get a ladder out, and people don't like me on ladders. Gee, I wonder why. And Peter's here. Hey Sly. Hey Peter, how you doing? Sammy says the stream looks better. Well, it is possible that even though it said I had enough oomph, that with him watching his videos I really didn't have enough oomph. So there may be something with that too. Sammy says I was working on a new video today. That's so cool. So are you going to tell us what this one's about? Is this for a school project, or is this something you're doing on your own? Inquiring minds want to know. And when will it be released? Yeah. So I love your avatar. I don't know what camera that is, but I love your avatar. That's so cute. Peter says sound looks good. It's a winner chicken dinner. Thursday night has a whole new meaning. Well, it was funny because one of the guys that I follow, Marine X, he does a live on Thursday night. So, but I don't know that there's a whole lot of people in here that follow him. And I guess if there is, people can just go bounce back and forth. So, I will catch his on the replay. Sammy says, I got a new lens, the 12mm cine lens. Okay, so I saw something of you going into a camera store, and for like the first literally 1 second it had sound, and then it lost sound. And I thought maybe it was something on my end, but I played it 2 or 3 times and I never could get it to, all I got was like that one just bloop of sound, and then I got nothing. So that's so cool. You got a new lens. I'm thinking I probably should. I'm debating whether to buy a new bag or a new lens. But I'll tell you about that in a minute. I'm using Peter's favorite songs in the video. Oh, okay. Like Christmas songs? Because you could use, like, I bet he would love for you to use his Christmas songs off his CD. Yes, that was you at B&H. Yes, it was. But like I said, something happened to the audio, because it was just there for like a split, just long enough to hear some traffic background, and then nothing. So I don't know if it was on my, like I said, I don't know. I think it was on Facebook, maybe. Don't quote me on that, because I'm not 100% sure where I saw it. but that's cool. Yeah. So, my son uses a backpack for work, and the zipper has broken. Okay, well, it was a cheapy Walmart backpack, so not a huge loss. But he asked if I could give him a new backpack, which I'm like, yeah, I'm like the backpack queen. I got tons of them. I don't. I have tons of camera bags. I only have really like 3 backpacks that can be like just backpacks without like cameras. One of them is a Wandered, and it's actually the Wandered Duo. So you can fold up the camera stuff out of the way and use it for a backpack. But almost everything I have is a camera bag. So I got to looking, and I really don't have that many just plain backpacks. I have a couple that I love that I'm not giving away. But, so yeah, I'm kind of on a quest for just a plain backpack. One that no one would want to steal, because he usually, he carries a laptop, and you don't want to get your backpack stolen anyway. So, Sammy says, I love my manual focus lens. It's super cool. So I have one manual focus lens. It's I believe it's a 35 millimeter 1.2, I want to say. Incredible lens. Incredible lens. And it's for the M6. And that thing it is literally, without a doubt, the sharpest lens that I have. I would use it for live streaming, but I move around too much, and it's manual focus. So, if you move back just a little bit, you get blurry. So yeah, you really, but for photography, it's amazing, because you can like really focus in, and it is the crispest image of all of my lenses. I mean, so I love the manual focus in certain situations. It is a little harder if you're in front of the camera to keep a manual focus lens focused on you, because you keep having to adjust it. So there's Scott. Hello, Sly and crew. I'm glad you got the notification, because I wasn't sure. YouTube Studio was being kind of a pill tonight, and so I kind of had to go in through the back door to get to some of the settings, which, yeah, it's fine. But so last week I showed you guys this alpaca key clip. Yeah, big deal, a key clip, right? My Boundary supply bag has I'll just show you. It has a place for this. If you can see this. Put this in front of my face so you can see this. Okay, see that little nub right there? Well, in the backpack, it has the female version of that, and so you just slap it on there, and it magnetizes. But none of my other bags have that. And I don't really like key lanyard things in backpacks. They just kind of definitely fall subpar. Yeah. So I love this. This is one of the reasons that I love this bag so much. This is one of the reasons I continued to carry this bag, even though when I first got it, I didn't think I was going to like it. One of those things. But because of this, I kept carrying it, and now I don't know what I'd do without it. I absolutely love it. So Alpaca has, they call it for their hub. Is that right? I think that's right. So they have a little bar thing that this goes onto, but, and I don't know if you can see this or not. I'm going to try. Okay. It's got a little clippy thing. So you can clip this on your belt. You can clip it in any bag that has a pocket, right? And it just had, this is the little part of the alpaca part. Just that little bit. And it just, see if I can do this right. Probably not now that I'm trying to. But it just goes, doop, and your keys are, and they are not coming off. Trust me. And so you can make any backpack have a magnetic key thing. I love this. This is like the best thing since sliced bread, right? You just, so this is it is in any bag, like just a cheapy bag. If it's got a pocket, see, this is their version of the key lanyard. Yeah, cheapy plastic. Yeah, we're not going to use that. But so you put this on the pocket, and now all of a sudden you can just reach in. Look, it really does work. You can just reach in and get your keys, and then when you get out of the car, you just drop them back in there, and they ain't going nowhere. So, yeah. So it turns any backpack into having a magnetic key thing, and I love it. Works in my camera bags too. So, yeah. The Boundary Supply was the first key thing, lanyard, whatever they want to call it, that I actually liked and use a lot. And so the alpaca is opened up my world of bags. But I do need to find just a plain Jane backpack for my son. Sammy says, I would say that you should try and use a vintage lens. Super cool, and I'm falling in love with using old vintage photo lenses. So I have two. I don't know how. Sammy, what is your definition of vintage? Because I have two lenses that are older than you. Okay, I have a lot of things that are older than you. So I don't know if you're calling those vintage. They're probably from the 90s, I'm going to say. For me, vintage would be 60s or 70s. So yes, I would be vintage. There's that. Sammy says, I'm using the song Eleanor from the band Turtles. It's Peter's favorite old-time song. Oh, that's cool. Okay. Now, I'm not going to try to sing it. But yeah, that's cool. It is an oldie. Yeah, leave it to Peter to come up with old songs, because, you know. So, tell me what you consider vintage, Sammy. Would 90s be vintage for you? That's like 30-something years old? So there's vintage and then there's antique. Okay, vintage lens means like 80s and 90s. Okay, so I have two vintage lenses. They're both zoom. They're not, they have a very soft, like they're not crisp. Like my manual focus lens is crisp. They're not, I mean, even when they're in focus, they give whatever you're taking a picture of or video or whatever a softer look. And I think now with everybody wanting 4K, and you know, some stuff is coming out at 8K now, and I think everybody's kind of going for the more crisp look. And both these lenses and are a little bit on the softer side. At first I thought it was because of their age, maybe, and because they had been in storage for so long. And Mr. Camera Junkie actually told me to set them outside in the sun and that they should clear up. They didn't. So, and if you look back at pictures taken with those lenses, they are a lot softer than what we're used to today. So, it would have its place, obviously. Mid-century is 1950. Well, technically, but is that vintage or antique? Because at some point, vintage becomes antique, right? 25 plus years is vintage, I think. Okay, so both of these would qualify as vintage. I don't think they're quite antiques yet. Sammy says, I found a prime lens that is a vintage and it's pretty cool. That's cool. Yeah, so I think. Yeah, I don't know which ones they are right off the bat. But I think one is an 80 to 300, 80 to 200. Not sure. They don't have very good f-stops because they're both kind of zoom lenses. So that was back when I was shooting with film. But they do fit on with the adapter. They do fit on the M6. So, but like I said, it's just not as clear a picture. Now they fit on the 80 and 90D without an adapter, but again, it was just kind of a soft. So they're still back there, but I don't use them. In fact, lately I have taken to. I really kind of like this little Osmo. It's I pretty much carry this everywhere I go now, which it's, believe it or not, it's because of the size. So my favorite backpack of all time, this little Boundary Supply. It's not little, it's big. This thing here actually has a lined pocket right here at the top. And so I can just drop this in there. I don't have to worry about it getting scratched up or anything. And it's just always right there. So that's kind of what I've been carrying everywhere I go. Now, plus, it's so little that nobody knows you really have a camera. I mean, it's kind of obvious if you watch, you know, you put it on a selfie stick and away you go, and people know you have a camera. So it's not like you're trying to hide anything. But nobody so far has had a problem with me taking pictures. See, you're ready to go. So, I have filled up some memory cards. I have not gotten all the information off of those yet. But, so, if you want to talk vintage, I found something that is so cool. And I only think it's cool because I'm so old. Okay? For all you young pups out there, you're probably not going to be interested. But for some of you older guys, it's a leather tech pouch. And, oh, it just smells so good. Like, I've had this thing for a couple of weeks, and it still smells so good. It makes your whole bag smell good, right? I love the smell of leather. Okay, kind of weird. But it's not as techy as some of the, like, the Tom Talk or the Ulanzi or some of the other ones. It's just I just got little stuff in here. But it's got, let's see if I can do this. But I can. Okay. It's just got some, like, organization pockets. It's got 3 on this side and 2 on this side. Can't really see that very well. It doesn't have a weatherproof zipper or anything like that. It's just got a really nice, smooth, big zipper. But it's really well made. And they're not expensive. This is, it's from a company called Hide and Drink. I love the name. If nothing else, I love the name, right? I don't know, they come with these little tags on the bag, on all their stuff. And it tells you, all their stuff comes with a card and tells you specifically who made that particular product. Now, I want somebody's opinion because I don't know. Is this, let me see if I can turn it right. Quit. Focus. Is this a cat or an owl? Opinions, please. I thought it was an owl. Okay. I love it when people text me. So you guys tell me what you think this is. There we go. Okay. Cat or owl? Inquiring minds want to know. Sammy says, I have an f2.8 lens that is from a film camera and it works well with the FX30. That's cool. So I want to know what your video is going to be about. Sammy says, what lens are you thinking of buying? So the only other lens that I really want, well, there might be two, but the one that I'm thinking of getting next, and it would just be because I don't plan on changing camera systems anytime soon. And so, not that I have a need for it right now, but I want to get it, you know, they've discontinued the M stuff, so I want to get it before it's not gettable. And it's the 32mm for the M camera. I don't care for the 28, but the 32 I think would be, you know, when you multiply that times 1.5 or whatever it is, it's like a 50mm. And I have a couple of 50s, but the 32 is supposed to be a really good, really sharp lens, and it kind of gives you, with the multiplier, it's like a 50. So, yeah, there's that. Roy would be interested, right? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I mean, you know, this is just kind of, this just screams old school, right? I like that. Jeff says, do not forget to like, and if it's your first time, hit the subscribe button. Thank you, Jeff. And there's my Brady Boo. How do I do this? Hey there to you too. You didn't answer your phone. Charles says, hi Sly. Hey Charles, how you doing? Haven't seen any videos from you, but so Sunday through Wednesday I'm super busy, and I don't really get to do a whole lot besides go to work and you know, go to work and sleep. That's pretty much all I do. So, Charles says it's an owl 100%. Well, that's what I thought too, but apparently it's a cat. So, Jeff says to me it looks like an owl. Thank you. See, that's what I thought too. And I'm like, that's definitely an owl. That's not a cat. But it supposedly, I guess it's supposed to be a cat. Doesn't look like a... Peter says, my 2 cents, owl, right? I think they need to change their logo because I thought it was an owl too. Doesn't look like no cat. So, Charles says, it's an old graphic used in the 70s of an owl with a graduating hat. Okay, I can see that. But they think it's a cat. So, I'm just saying. I don't know why, but it looks like a... Ooh, very nice. What's that? So, yeah. So for any of you guys that have photography bags, this alpaca thing, Boundaries sells one. I've actually got one of theirs coming in because I want to compare it. But I think this is going to be a little bit more versatile with this clippy. I really like that. What else did I get this week? I don't think I've really gotten a whole lot of... Oh, yes, I did. So I have not gotten to test out the K&F concept bag other than to try to figure out how to do that foldy insert thing, right? Which is a little bit above my skill set. I mean, I got it in there, but it was like, I feel like that was harder than it should have been. I don't feel like it should have been. It took some brain power to figure out how to get it to fold just right, and so it would sit in there. And honestly, I don't think I'm gonna like that, but I like the bag, and I have tons, because I have tons of photography bags, So I have tons of the, in fact, I probably have some sitting up here. Yes. I have tons of these things. I even have straps that I don't know what they go to. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's a chest strap off something, maybe. But I have no idea which bag this came off of. So, yeah, I have tons of this stuff. So these little dividers, these foamy dividers, they always send you more than what you need. And so I'm thinking I'm just going to use these in that K&F bag because I really do like that bag. One of the subscribers asked me to review it, and unfortunately I haven't gotten around to it yet, but I'm working on it. I really like this thing, but I want to show you the inside of this. If I can. There we go. Okay. So, and I don't have the lights set up in here like when I, well, something happened. Get that back on there. Okay. So, it's got this origami thing, which is one big thing. And these are not very padded. I'll just take it back out. It may take me, well, I guess I could put this back on here. Huh. Okay, I guess I could. Okay, so this is the thing it comes with. And this is how I figured out how to fold it up. So it's like that. Okay? But they're dividers, but they're not padded. I guess if the stuff isn't moving around a lot, but there's no padding whatsoever. So I would probably use this bag with something like this that I have tons of. Otherwise, aside from this thing, which took me a minute to figure out how to fold it like this, because it comes totally like that, totally flat. And then you get to figure out how to maneuver it to be like that. Took me a minute. But this thing is actually a really nice size bag. And it's got tons and tons of organization and pockets. And best part is, it's sub $40. And it's got a place for like a tripod on the bottom. So, Sammy, if you're needing a bag and you're wanting to walk around New Jersey or New York City or whatever, this might not be a bad bag. And the price is good. So, yeah, there's that. I was saying very nice lens that you were talking about. Yeah, I like the 32. Like I said, I don't typically like this is I believe this is the 22. And then on this camera is a 24. The 24 is an EFS. And I like the look of both of them. They're a little bit different, but this one you have to have an adapter for, and this one you don't. So the adapter does add a little bit of space on the nose end, but for sitting here, that's fine. I mean, the lens could be this long and I wouldn't care. But when I'm out and about and I'm carrying the M6 around, I really kind of want to keep it as low profile as I can. So the 32 is not a big lens. I think it's the same size as the 11 to 22, which I do like that lens, but I really don't vlog very much with the M6 anymore. So since I found the Osmo 4, that's my carry around. So Carlos is here. How you doing, bud? It's really, it's early for you. It's like, what, 7:30? That is early. So, okay, so, I don't think, yeah, so, see, we're just not going to go there. I don't remember what your name is, but, I know you're on your wife's account, but yeah, we just, you know, we're just not gonna go into the whole silk thing, okay? Sammy says, T Artesian. Yes, they make excellent lenses. I think mine is one of those Mieke, Mikey, maybe? Carlos says, yep, still have clients later. Okay. That's kind of what I thought. It was kind of early for you because like 7:30 is, it's early for me, Carlos. 9:30 is still like morning for me because I work overnight. So yeah, it's I actually tried to get out and mow my yard today because I have not had time, and most people have mowed 2 or 3 times by now. And so I'm sure the city is going to start saying something to me if I don't get out and mow, but my battery was dead. So I did the whole, took it out, tried to charge it up, didn't work, ran up to the store, grabbed another one, and so I will get to mow Sunday because I ran out of daylight anyway. So, you know, when you work nights, your daylight hours are kind of short. Okay. So I really like the 7 Artesian Cine lens. It's pretty amazing so far. Going to get another lens from there. So the 7 Artesians lenses have got some of the best reviews ever. They're supposed to be really awesome. And I don't know how to do that. So, oh, like this. Yes. Okay. That's how you do that. Okay. So, let me see if I can find these real quick. If I don't roll over everything in the process. This one? Don't know what the other one is. So 50. This one. Yep. Okay. Yeah. 80 to 200. And I actually have the adapter on it because I did try it, but it's not. It's like 3. Well, I'll tell you here in a minute. 4.5 to 5.6. So it's not going to give you. It's definitely a soccer mom lens. Okay, that's what I call it. Soccer mom. Artist. Be nice, Scott. Be nice. Carlos says, looks like Canon is finally going to allow third-party RF lenses. It's about time, right? They really kind of put me off the whole R thing, because now I have one lens that is not Canon. Okay. So I don't know why that would upset me, but I didn't like the idea that, hey, we're going to make something, but you have to buy from us. So I like the Mieke lens too. I was going to get the Cinelens version, but it was going to be $500 for the E-mount version. Wow. I don't think I paid that much for the Mieke lens, honestly. But yeah, it blows everything else I've got out of the water. As far as if you can get it focused, it blows everything else out of the water. Scott's saying I'm pronouncing it wrong. It is Artisan. Artisan? Artisan? Artesian. I think it's Artisan. Okay. I think it's Artesian. But I don't know. Artisan. Okay. Artisan? I know, you guys are just rolling laughing because I can't pronounce this stuff. That's okay. My review is going to be up at 10 a.m. I sent it to Peter and he loves it, so it's all a go. Awesome. That's cool. Peter always gets in on all the stuff early. Okay, boys and girls, the topic is cameras, camera bags, lenses, and such. Stay on topic or I won't like it. I think I took care of it, but yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. Okay. The other one, so the 80 to 200 is definitely Soccer Mom. It's, in fact, that's probably why I got it, because my kids were out and about playing baseball and what have you. Is a 35 to 80, and it's just as bad as the, I think it's, let's see. It is, yep, 4 to 5.6. So neither one of these lenses are that great, but they served a purpose at the time. And so I don't really use them anymore. But this one I did try because it does go out to 200. And when you crop that to the 1.6, or is it one? I think it's 1.5 on Canons, 1.6 on Sony, or I may have those backwards. But anyway, when you crop it, that takes that to like a 300. So you can really get zoomed in, but it's just not as crystal clear as what the new lenses are. So if you're kind of wanting that softer look, then they'd be great. I like the am I saying that right? Cine lens versions, since it's easier to focus and I can change the I think you mean f-stop. Okay. Thinking of getting a Canon FD lens. Okay, so I thought that was a mount. I thought the FD was a mount, like that was from before the EF. I could be completely wrong. You camera guys, correct me, because I could be completely wrong. It's about time Canon allowed other lenses, right? This was a real issue in not being allowed choice. That's kind of, even when they came out with the M series, there was tons of other people that made M lenses. And so, I don't know, that just kind of rubbed me the wrong way that they would try to monopolize. I mean, I understand from a business point, you know, buy our product, use our lenses type thing, but share the wealth, guys. If you make a good enough camera, you shouldn't have to monopolize the lenses. But that's just my thing. Sammy says they make a mount, but also lens. They make a mount, but also lens. Okay. I think, so I'm thinking of, I think the FD was a mount prior to when they came out with the EOS, EF lenses, I think. Charles says, Sammy, 99% of the Cine lenses are manual. Therefore, the best way to save money is not to worry so much about your lens mount. Buy the lens that best suits your pocket and an adapter, right? And Scott says, correct. FD preceded the EF. Okay, so I'm not completely... You know, a lot of the gray cells are going offline more every day. So, I'm just lucky I still have a few marbles left up there. And Sammy's saying, very true, Charles. Yep. So, yeah, I just kind of, if I'm going to have an M camera, and they seem to be working quite well, I just figured I would get everything I kind of would need before they can completely do away with them. So if you guys have not checked out MPB, I have bought a camera, 5 lenses from them, and everything has been like brand new. I mean, now you can go through and see what comes, because like, okay, say like the 32 millimeter lens, they'll have like 12 of them. And so they show what comes with each lens. Some of them come in the original packaging, and they rate them like just like KEH, but their prices are better. So anything that I buy used, I buy off MPB, and you can save some money. And everything so far that I've gotten has looked brand new. Now, I bought an M6 Mark I, did not realize it didn't do clean HDMI out, but the camera looked brand new. So I ended up having to send that back because I was wanting it to be this camera and it wouldn't do clean HDMI out. So I sent that back and I bought this. This is a little M200 and I bought it from Canon. So I don't think you can even get them anymore. Somebody on one of my Facebook things that I follow said, no, it was not an M camera. It was a, what's the little one I have? The G7X Mark III. Best Buy has restocked those. So I have way too many cameras. Sammy says Cine lenses are with T-stops, and photo lenses are f-stops. Okay, thank you. I did not know that. Never having had a C lens. Cine, is it Cine? Like cinema? I could be completely wrong about that. I hear good things about MPB. Yeah, they ship, everything is well protected when it ships. And when I had to send the camera back, I did, because it was my fault, I did have to pay shipping, but they 100% took it back, no questions asked. And so I should have done more research before I bought the camera, but it was just supposed to be an extra, and so yeah, I just didn't research enough. Okay. Cine like cinema. Yeah, okay. Jeff says, hey Sly, I looked up the EOS M body, and if I understand, it was the crop sensor is 3.2, if that's correct. A 32 lens times 3.2 will have a field of view of around 102. So I think I don't think it's 3.2. So the M6 Mark II has a 32 megapixel sensor, but I think the crop factor is still 1.5. I think. Maybe. Peter says Mother's Peanut Butter is a great resource. Yes, that's how he remembers it. Is MPB Mother's Peanut Butter. You gotta watch out to see if it has the caps and stuff. I often use them, mpb.com, to see what a fair used price is going for now, for today. Yes. So, yeah, I hadn't thought about seeing what their prices are for used. And then, because I sell a lot of stuff on Facebook Marketplace, but like not cameras and stuff. I sold my 90D on Facebook, but the like KEH and MPB and places, when you try to sell equipment, they're a great place to buy equipment because they're like, MPB is cheaper than KEH and what have you, but when you go to sell equipment, they really lowball everything. That's why they can sell it so cheap and still make a markup. So it's pretty much, you just give it to them. What they like to do is they like to give you a store credit on you purchasing something else. So, excuse me, let's say you were wanting to buy an Osmo Action, which they have these brand new for $150. Okay, so let's say I wanted to buy another one, which I already have two, so I don't really need a third one. But if I were to sell a lens, okay, they may give me $50 for the lens, and they would apply that towards the purchase of whatever you're buying. So if you apply it to something, it seems like you get a little bit more than if you just want to get cash. So there's that. Peter says, Jeff, the crop is 1.6. Okay. Is it 1.5 on the Sony? Because I know one is one and one is the other. But yeah, I think it's 1.6. So if you have a 32 times 1.6, could somebody do the math for me? I think it comes out to, it's pretty close to 50. Let's see. Where's my little calculator here? 1.6 times 32 makes it a 51.2. So, which is, that's a good portrait type lens, right? But the 32 is supposed to be really clear. The 28, which I'm not a huge fan of, has a light like built in around it. Not really sure why, because if they're thinking it's like for a ring light, 28 is way too in your face to be a vlogging type camera. So I don't know. Peter says Canon's crop sits at 1.6. Most others come in at 1.5. Okay. I don't know why the difference, but it is what it is. Yes. I was thinking Sony was 1.5 and Canon's 1.6. So Jeff says, yes, sorry, I stand corrected. It's a crop factor of 1.6 on Canon, so crop so close to 51. Yes. Which, it's just, I think the 32 would just be a good lens to have. I have the 11 to 22, the 22, I think it's a 22, that are strictly M lenses. And then I think everything else I have is an EFS or an EF. So the EF is the vintage. And then I've got oodles of like 18 to 55, and I think there was one that went to like 150, 155, something like that. But I end up using this, when I carried the M6, I end up using the same lens all the time. So I think I have a 10 to 18, and that thing is like way bigger than the 11 to 22, plus it's a lot heavier, and you have to use an adapter. So you're getting longer and longer. And now the drawback to the M lenses is you have to remember to open them. So like when you're carrying them, you close them up. I don't know if I have, do I have another one somewhere? Yeah. Yep. Okay. So I have like, they keep sending me these with every camera I buy. So this is a 15 to 45. It's not a bad lens. Like for if you're on vacation or something and you just need kind of a versatile lens, it's not a bad lens. It's not as obviously as sharp as the 22, but I was on vacation with little man and I was trying to take some pictures of these ginormous, they call them dinosaur eggs, but they're ginormous rocks. Like, and they're perfectly round, perfectly smooth. They're not like a circle round, but they're like a round, like an egg. Okay. And the town, because I talked to somebody in the town, they don't know where they came from. They've just like, they're just there. So I was trying to get a picture of little man in front of these dinosaur eggs. Well, there's a switch right there, and you have to open the lens. So this is how you carry it when it's, on the camera and in transport. But then to take a picture, you actually have to pull this little thing and I don't know if you can hear that click, but it clicks. And so you have to, that's what I mean by open it. You have to open it for it to be able to focus and take a picture. I forgot to do that part. because I was chasing a 4-year-old. At the time he was 3. So we're going to go back down there and we're going to take some more pictures. And this time I will remember to open the lens. Yeah. So it happens. You know, is what it is. I think I'd go a little... he goes faster than my brain can process how fast he's going. And so everything is rush, 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 which is one reason I really like the Osmo. You just turn it on and go. There's no focusing. There's no lens to mess with. It just is what it is. Now, what I will say, I have not been able to find a microphone that improves the sound of the built-in mic for the Osmo 4. I can find a mic that improves the sound of everything else I have, except that. Even DJI's mic does not improve the sound of the built-in mic. So, that's pretty impressive. And Jeff says, thanks, Peter. Yes, I was looking at the wrong thing. Yes. The M6 Mark II has a 32 megapixel thing. Yeah. Don't know if that's a big thing, but, you know. It kind of... Like the M6 Mark II and the 90D were really comparable cameras. The 90D is a huge thing, right? And the M6 is not. So when I knew I was going to sell the 90D, I had a choice to go with the M that was discontinued or the R system, and I went with the M just because it's a really nice camera. It's just Canon decided to quit making it. Peter says, yes, I knew you already knew that, Jeff. So I think Jeff is like me. I think his gray cells are getting depleted daily, right? And it's a little harder to bring up that random trivia that we have in the back of our minds. Jeff says, I have the 35mm 1.4 on our full frame and love it. But when I used it on the 90D, it's a bit tight as it was around 56 field of view. Yes, that's what I'm saying. The 32 would be good for like portraits, but it is a bit tight compared to like the 22 and the 11. You know, I really like the 11. I wish they had come out with a more of a... I don't really know how you do it, because you can't make an 11 prime that would have one use, right? And so I know the camera companies want to make things as versatile as they can, and I understand why, but it would be nice to have like an 11 prime that was... The 11 to 22 is fine. It's just not as crystal clear as like that Mikey manual focus. Yeah. Are you going to use the Osmo the most, or the M6 the most, when you go play with dinosaurs? And you... Oh, definitely. I won't even take the M6. Yeah. So I've just started carrying the Osmo everywhere. I say I won't take it. There is one T-Rex that I would like to get a close-up of, so it may have to be in the bag, but so, you know, I've been trying to figure out how to make an everyday backpack a camera bag, and I'm not having a lot of luck with this. It's not coming out how I wanted it to, and I've tried several different bags. So, but my new favorite backpack, this little guy, and I keep saying little guy, he's not. I mean, if you look, he's pretty good size. But they make some pieces to go with this, and one of them is a camera insert, and the other one is a cooler. Okay? So the cooler goes in the bottom of the bag. So I just carry one backpack, and I can have my drinks, and in the top is the camera part. So That's supposed to be coming next week. And we're going to see if that will actually make that bag into a do-it-all, because obviously you can take the camera cube out, you can take the cooler part out, but it just will make it where I only have to carry one bag. So that in itself is, yeah, because I was having trouble, you know, in Texas in the summer, it gets very, very hot. And so you have to stay hydrated. You have to take drinks with you. And so it's just, I can't carry. And with me traveling by myself with him, he's too little to carry anything on in his backpack. So it all falls on me. And that was one of the problems, is I had, even though it was a small camera bag, I had that on one shoulder, the cooler backpack on the other shoulder, and it was just really, it was kind of too much for the old lady. So unless I can rent somebody to go with me to carry one of the backpacks, you know. Peter says, I think Canon should have pursued the M camera line. It sits in a great place in terms of marketing. It really does. So this is an M camera. I don't know which is which. This is an M camera, and they're both, although this is a smaller camera, this little guy is literally the size, almost the size of a credit card, and you can attach a lens. So with the lens on it, there's like that much camera on either side. So like if you took a credit card, which I don't have a card up here. Oh, well, no, that's not a card. Okay. So if you took a card and put a lens on the front of, like a credit card, and put a lens on the front, it's just a little bit bigger than that. I mean, as far as top and bottom, the lens pretty much covers the whole thing. You have just a little bit of room on the sides. That's how small that camera is. Now, the M200 is really set up for someone who who wants to shoot everything in auto. I hope Chris filtered that out. Somebody is shooting a gun off outside. But it literally would fit in your pocket, except it has a detachable lens. So the lens would make it stick out just a little bit, but otherwise that thing is, and it has a flippy up screen, which I love. So I really like that, but it is set up for people that just want to turn it on. They don't want to adjust anything. And because it was hard for me to find the menu to go into, right? It's got literally 2 buttons, on and shutter. Pretty much it. You can either be taking pictures or video, and it asks you, do you want to shoot pictures or videos on the touchscreen? And if you want to find any of the menu settings, you have to work at it. So, but it's just a little bitty thing. It's I guess in size comparison to the Osmo, it's a little bit bigger, but it's not much bigger. So tiny camera. Sammy says, found a cool lens for you that is f2.0 and it's 12mm for the M mount. Absolutely. Slyreader at mail.com. Absolutely, yes. Is it a manual or automatic? But yeah, f2.0 12. I think my 11. I think the 22 is a 2.0. The 24 I think is a 1.8. I could be wrong. Jeff says, old age. Hey, Peter, I never had an EOS M, so was not sure what I was thinking. I was thinking 1.6, but was not real sure if it was different. Now I know. Yes, Nikon, Sony, Panasonic, and Fuji have 1.5. But Canon always has to be different and difficult, right? It's amazing. If they didn't make a good product, they would not stay in business, because this monopoly thing about lenses, and then they discontinue once they get you hooked on something, and they discontinue it, and so yeah, I don't know. Peter says, funny, I don't have a credit card either. Yeah, well, somewhere I have a slew of cards around here somewhere, because it's not what I have. I know what I have. Yeah, so we'll put one of these up there. Okay. So size-wise, yes, it is not much bigger than a business card. Now, if you put a lens on that, okay, so it's a little bit taller than a business card. Okay? But sideways, it's about the same. It's about the same this way. It's just a little bit taller this way, because the lens literally goes from the top to the bottom. So it's just a little bit bigger than a card. I knew it wasn't very much bigger, because the lens pretty much takes up the whole front of the camera. It's little. Peter says, didn't hear anything. It did a great job. No booms or bangs. Well, good, because they shot it off twice. Sammy says it's a manual, but it's 170 bucks, which is a steal of a deal. Yes, that is a steal of a deal. And now the only thing is, if you're in the front of the camera, if you've got somebody filming you, it's a no-brainer. But 12 millimeter is a good, for my little short arms, my little T-Rex arms, is a good focal length for holding the camera out in front of you. But if it's manual focus, you really, well, I guess if you're holding it in front of you, as long as your arm didn't like move in and out, you'd be okay. I don't know. Okay. How long can I hold it out at exactly this without having to pull it in a little bit or adjust? I know a lot of people, when they film themselves, they tuck their elbow in, and so the thing is only like this far away from them, right? I tend to hold mine out a little further, but you know, I have seen a lot of people try to tuck their elbow in to where it gives them more stability. So, which reminds me, somebody wants me to redo the video on the Canon G7X Mark III and the Sony ZV-1, and show that I had the image stabilization. They don't call it that, but they call it something else on the ZV-1, which I did, but they don't believe it, so they want me to redo that video, which I might do. Yeah, we'll see. I'm gonna have to take some vacation, I think, because I've been working a lot more hours and have not been able to devote any time to YouTube, and so I kind of probably need to do that, but we'll see. Sammy does a great job on finding good deals. Well, find me a good deal on a 32, because that's probably going to be my next purchase. And I want to say they're not expensive, but I want to say they're like 350 bucks. So I thought that would be a good April gift to myself. Or this bag that I absolutely adore comes in a sling bag, and it's a little bit smaller. So this is a 22 liter, I believe. The sling bag, I want to say, is an 18. But it's the same look. It just on the back, instead of having the 2, it just has the 1. Which, I'm not really a slingy person, and I like having the 2 straps because it distributes weight. But if it's a little bit smaller, I'm really liking this Boundary Supply stuff. I know Doc Rock likes the alpaca stuff, which I like their stuff too. But I think for me, the Boundary has a little bit more versatility to it. So, yeah. I did a video on a Prima, which is the bigger brother to the Errant, and it's way too big for me. Now, I put that on my son, and it just looks like it fits him perfectly. But like he said, he doesn't need to be carrying around a $400 backpack. Somebody would probably try to steal it. Peter says, how flat does that handle go? I need a flat tripod thing for the dash. How flat does that handle go? What handle? Flat tripod thing for the dashboard of my car. Are you talking about this one? It doesn't go very flat. There is one called a... I will send you the link. I can't think of it. It starts with an E. Randy has one. But that thing goes like... It doesn't have a ball head on it though. It just basically... Yeah, it just basically is not doesn't have a ball head. I thought I had one up here somewhere that was like it. But basically it just goes like very flat and sticks up about that far, and you screw your camera. That's like the height. And the legs go completely flat out. So, and it completely open, it's only like that big. So if I was going to do like a dash mount, that's probably, and they're not expensive. So I will find that tripod and send you a link to it, because I want to say they're like 12 bucks. They're not expensive. I can't find the one that, I have one similar to that, but I didn't like it because it doesn't have the ball head. And if I'm filming up like this, then I want it to be angled down at me. But if you're riding in a car, filming out the car, you would pretty much want it to stay level. So you wouldn't really need a ball head. So, yeah. When I had the Canon 90D, I found the 10 to 22 for landscape a good size, as the field of view was around 16 to 35. Yes, so when I had the 90D, man, I had nothing but trouble out of that camera. And apparently the lady I sold it to had trouble with it because she sold it like 6 months later. So, now I have the 10 to 18 EFS. Yeah. And I like it, but I like it more on the 80D, because the 80D is a bigger camera, and yeah, I don't have to use an adapter, but the 10 to 18 is a bigger, taller lens than the 11 to 22 M lens. So I don't really use the 10 to 18 that much. Not as much as I thought I would when I bought it. Jeff says, Sammy, the same here. All my lenses are all second hand, and bought them all well under half retail price. Yep. The only way to buy a good lens without going broke, right? So I have a really mix of both new and second hand. Like my vintage lenses, that's what we're going to call these, is vintage. They were all bought brand new. The 50 millimeter was brand new. All the 15 to 45s, because every camera I buy, they send a lens with it. So they were all new. The 11 to 22 was second hand. And I think the 24, maybe. I don't know. It's a mix. And unless you're looking at a specific lens, I can't really tell you. It's a good mix. Hey Jeff, are you aware that the Canon M6 Mark II is almost the same camera in a smaller body? Yes, that's why I bought it. The 90D you had obviously is an EF mount, and is an EF, and the M6 is a native M mount. Yes, that's, and I think Carlos has an M6 Mark II. So it's just basically, and I have, I think, 3 of these mounts, but that's the mount. So you're going to add that much depth to any lens any EF or EFS lens that you put on the M6, and it's a much smaller camera than the 90D. So if you've got big hands, you're not going to like the M6 Mark II. But it does make it a little front heavy. I will say that. Now it comes with this cute little stand, so you can put this on the tripod instead of the camera to help balance the weight a little bit. But yeah, there's that. Peter says same sensor too. Yes. And I like my M6 so much better. I even like it better than the 80D, which is another big body camera. Big for me, okay? Not really. They're not considered big body camera, but they're big in my hands. So, Sammy says I might be able to find you a deal. 12mm or something like that for the M camera. So they made the 11 to 22 in an autofocus. 11 to 22. I don't believe there is a 12 prime that's autofocus. I'm pretty sure they're, and you have to be kind of careful too, because when you're looking for these, a lot of them, when you get down low like that, they turn into fish eyes. So there's a lot of 8, 9, 10 millimeter fisheye lens that are, I guess you'd call them primes, but they're manual focus, but they are fisheye. So you got to be careful with that. The action camera has a wide angle setting that totally rounds things out. So yeah, you kind of have to watch for that. But guys, we have gone way past our hour. Thank you so much for switching over to Thursdays, and it does make for a much quieter stream, right, where I don't have somebody shouting at me, and I'm trying to figure out still the game thing on the PC. We'll work on that some this weekend, but tomorrow is Good Friday, and so I want to wish everybody a really, really happy Easter. I don't know. I don't think I'm going to have little man for Easter. I think his mom wants him to go on a Easter egg hunt with somebody, and so I think we're, yeah, not sure about all that. That's like 3 days away. So I don't make plans that far ahead. Charles says it's actually better and cheaper than B&H, Adorama, or KH. Yes, I love MPB. And Sammy says the 12 millimeter primes aren't prime that I used. Right. Yeah. And Peter's saying good night to everybody. And happy Easter, everybody. Stay safe. Hope you have a wonderful holiday. And Jeff saying same thing. Stay safe and stay awesome. Thank you guys. Thank you so much for jumping over to Thursday instead of Friday, and for understanding that schedules do change. So I will see you all next week, Thursday at 9 o'clock. And Scott says, God bless you and our group. I agree, Scott. Thank you very much. My ham is thawing. Happy Easter, everybody.